Oh my god, it does sound really good. Very distinct. We'll do the things that I hate. So it's like an old school small smartphone. You can, that's not too expensive. That's gonna be great fun. Down low with torque. There is no hill guard to your shoes, guys. I would have much rather the integrated headlight turn signals. What's good? Welcome to another New York City video, boys. This is the all-out lane splitting ride. I mean, nothing else is open out here, so I might as well kind of cover as much as I can. Oh my god, it does sound really good. Very distinct sound. I'm really curious how that's gonna sound, how it's gonna change once it has an exhaust with it as well. But it's all good though. I guess while we're lane splitting, we might as well talk about certain things that we might have wanted, things that we don't have on this bike. I guess things that I love and things that I hate. I guess we'll do the things that I hate. So not a lot, but there is some, guys. So for example, one of the first one I'm going to point out here, this display, I like it a lot. It has a lot of information, right? And in most cases, in a lot of bikes, modern bikes, the displays are pretty wicked, man. Pretty nice size, lots of information, which is what this one is doing as well. However, there's a big however, guys. This display is tiny. It's like an old school small smartphone. You can see, look at the difference between my iPhone 11 Pro Max and the display. You can see it right there. Huge difference in terms of size, and for the amount of information that this display is giving out, it should have been, it would have been really dope if they did the entire setup here. But you know, beggars can't be choosers. This motorcycle is a budget friendly sport bike, so it's not a super expensive 30 grand 35 grand bike, so I can't be too uptight about something like this. But yeah, the display could definitely be bigger. It is definitely nice and bright, so that's a really good look too. And then we move on to the other thing that's a big problem for me. So I don't know why they did this on the Aprilia RS660. I mean, this is a track bike, I think, at heart. I think they were designing a track bike mainly when they were doing this bike. This bike was, they were thinking, hey, the Yamaha R6 is no longer around. We need something that's not too expensive, that we can produce, that's gonna be great fun, down low with torque, and up high you can actually have some oomph to it also, right? So that's why they did this bike. So this brings you to me complaining about the heel guard. Every single bike that has rear sets have a heel guard to protect the swing arm, yada yada, and everything else. On this bike, there is no heel guard to your shoes, guys. Basically, the back of my heel guard right now, the back of my heel of my shoe is just rubbing bare onto the swing arm as I'm riding right now, as I'm doing all of this right now. Aprilia knows so much so that this is problematic. They have a big piece of felt tape heavy on the swing arm as a temporary placeholder. And also my buddy Jojo, who's an avid track rider, he actually has grip tape on, like, it's like tank grip tapes on the hill guard just to cover it so he can prevent more damage on the swing arm. And I think that's kind of like a big miss. Even if the hill guard was like a hard piece of plastic, that would have been better than none, in my opinion. But it is completely bare, no hill guard. And not only that, if you're wearing like riding boots, it's gonna damage the swing arm. It's gonna scuff it and scratch it. And I think there's this thing with us, the riders and people that are passionate about motorcycling, keeping our bike somewhat pristine. At least for me, I like to keep my bike looking good, not unridden. That's not what I'm saying here at all. I know some people tend to interpret shit like, you don't ride your bikes, dude. Yes, I do. They all got a lot of miles on them. Well, not all of them. but the ones that I ride a lot from, you know, years ago, they all have a lot of miles on them. It has a lot of miles on them, and they all kind of start adding up. However, I still do my utmost best to keep my bike looking very pristine. I just like that. It's just in my nature. But in this case, though, you are doing a lot of damage on your own without that heel guard. So in a lot of cases, most people tend to, they end up getting racing rear sets with heel guards or get a cover. For me, I'm going to do both. I'm going to do racing rear sets, and I'm also going to do carbon fiber cover for the swing arm, just to protect it. Because again, as I mentioned in previous vlog, this bike will be a dedicated track bike at some point. One of the myths for me, okay, you know, it's kind of a semi miss on the Euro version of this bike. The headlight has integrated turn signals, which I think is super cool. And I think it's really dope because you don't have to really mod the bike. You don't have to do anything to it once you get it. But on the North American version of this bike, the headlight does not have the integrated turn signals. I think it's just due to laws and regulation. But they did somewhat come up with a good system. The actual turn signals are on the mirrors, you know, which kind of puts you in an awkward position. Do you take out the mirrors completely, or do you do like regular turn signals? I think they're intuitive. They're pretty good turn signals in there. It's pretty subtle, right? However, this guy's on my ass, man. However, I would have much rather the integrated headlight turn signals. Those are way cooler in my personal opinion, right? So that's that. If you look straight ahead here on this motorcycle, you'll see like star head screwdrivers. So there's a lot of different screws used on this bike, and somebody that's like nitpicky like myself, I haven't even taken the bike apart yet, and it's already bothering me, the fact that so many screws are different. So for me, the plan is to actually get all titanium bolts and replace pretty much everything that I can, and just tighten up, you know, just 2 minutes. I'm gonna change those all to titanium bolts. That's the overall idea for me here. My last but not least, one of the biggest issues. So when you go and check out this motorcycle on the website, the black version, the red, the stars and stripe, and then the pure race version, they all show you the bike without the rear cowl. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, rear cowl. Yeah, there is a rear cowl on this bike to cover the back seat. And I knew I wanted the acid gold color just because I wanted it to be unique. And then the other aspect of it was that it showed that it had the rear cowl. On everywhere on the website, it shows the rear cowl on the acid gold. Every other iteration shows the bike bare without the cowl. And I thought to myself, hey, that's cool. I don't mind, you know, paying a little extra for the color or whatever. Placed the order for the bike. The bike's coming, very excited. And I spoke to the rep just to kind of, because I got a little concerned, just got a little nervous about it. So I started asking. And he was like, no, it doesn't come with it. And I'm like, guys, every photo of the black with red wheels or all black wheels or the other colors, they don't show the bike with that rear cowl, right? And rightfully so, I don't expect it, but in this one it showed. So after going back and forth and explaining how I don't think it's a great idea the way they highlight it, and I get it, the bike looks better in photos with the rear cowl. So you know, there should be like an asterisk that make, you know, like blatantly clear that it doesn't come as that. So after talking to Aprilia and going back and forth, they took care of the issue. But just a heads up, if you're buying this bike, that rear cowl, the fin, almost the rear winglets, whatever you want to call them, is not included. So definitely an area of opportunity there. That would have really threw me off if they delivered the bike and that was not on the bike when I first saw it. It would have ruined the experience a little bit. But yeah, that's it for me. That's it. Small, not big, but definitely a big deal to me.